Christine? Are you there, Christine?
Yes.
Hi, this is Taj.
Oh, hi, Taj.
Sorry, I got mixed up with the time.
Good morning to you. A very good morning, right? It's 5
What?
5 o'clock. 5.
It's 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Well, in the next one and a half hours, mayors and local leaders from regions across the world will share how climate change is affecting their communities and the challenges they face, as well as the innovative solutions they have developed to deliver local climate actions. Well, we at GFHS very much appreciate the long-term support and engagement from ESCAD. Especially grateful to Kurt for leading the mayor's panel over the past few years. So I'm now very pleased to hand over to Mr. Kurt Garrigan, Chief of Sustainable Urban Development at UN ESCAD. Kurt, over to you.
Thank you very much, Christine. I hope you can hear me and see me well.
Yes, very well.
Thank you so much. Distinguished guests, honorable mayors, participants, good evening, good afternoon, good morning.
Oh, but we don't see you.
You don't see me. I just asked if you saw me well.
Okay.
Now?
Just no.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and thank you for joining from around the world this session on local leadership towards safer and greener future. Just last month at COP27, the session concluded in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, with a renewed call for urgent action to address climate change. Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, stressed at COP27 that any hope of limiting temperature rise to 1.5 degrees means achieving global net zero emissions by 2050. We all know that achieving net zero emissions by any date requires local actions and leadership from cities, where most of the energy demand and growth in GHG emissions in the coming decades are projected. So cities must lead the transition to carbon neutrality. We also know that many of our cities are seeing the greatest impacts from climate change, with millions of urban residents, especially those in low-lying coastal communities, vulnerable to flooding, severe weather, and threats to water and food security. So cities must also lead in efforts to build resilience and deploy nature-based solutions, innovations, and technologies to reduce risks to shocks and stresses. We know that these efforts, first and foremost, require leadership from mayors, councils, and other community leaders to mobilize their citizens and stakeholders, including national governments, to take ambitious local actions. In this session, we will hear from civic leaders around the world who will share with us how, in addition to managing a city and delivering efficient urban services, they are confronting the challenge of climate change. We'll start this session with a keynote delivered by one of Asia's most dynamic leaders. Datuk Seri Mahadi Chenaga of Kuala Lumpur is a lifelong civil servant turned mayor who brought his long experience as a planner and executive in city government to his leadership role and has developed innovations in climate sustainable development for his city and shared them with the region. We will then go to a panel discussion where we'll hear from leaders from around the world presenting what they have done in their communities. And then we'll have a dialogue among the panelists and open the session later for questions and answers. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce again the mayor of Kuala Lumpur, Datuk Seri Mahadi Chenaga, again a very dynamic leader and a good friend of cities and of ESCAP and all of us. So Mayor, over to you.
Thank you, Kurt, for the kind introduction. Your Excellencies, Honorable Mayors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good day to one and all. Permit me to extend my appreciation to the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, or in short, UNESCO, for giving me this opportunity to speak at the 17th annual session of Global Forum on Human Settlements 2022, with the theme Together for a Shared, Safer and Greener Urban Future, Resilient, Carbon Neutral and Nature Positive Cities. I believe this year's Global Forum on Human Settlement will play a significant role in highlighting and enhancing the leadership of mayors in accelerating carbon neutrality across cities around the globe. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we are all well aware, high intensity of carbon emissions has led to an increase in global temperature and contributed to climate change. Already we have seen the consequences with increasing occurrences of extraordinary rainfall and extreme weather in cities across the globe. Now is the time for local leaders to take urgent action to mitigate the impact of climate change on the environment and the future of our people. As such, it is imperative that we work together to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, if not less. Understanding this, many of us have shown our commitment by pledging the Paris Agreement. I am proud to share that Kuala Lumpur is also one of the signatories. As a signatory, we have already begun taking steps to promote sustainable development with the establishment of blueprints to guide our climate actions. This will ensure that we achieve our target of lowering carbon emissions by 70% by 2030 and becoming a carbon neutral city by 2050. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I truly believe that as city leaders, we must set the tone by innovating green approaches and technologies while scaling up sustainable development at the local level to inspire others to follow suit on this journey. In order to implement our ambitious green initiatives, we need to have adequate knowledge and capacity. As such, it is important that we build and leverage on networks between cities around the world, as we can learn from one another and adopt each other's success stories in mitigating and adapting to climate change. Kuala Lumpur City Hall has initiated various climate change mitigation and adaptation programs, some of which include accelerating waste recycling, whereby tenants of our public housing can offset their monthly rent by recycling. Developing incentive packages to further encourage the private sector's participation in our carbon neutrality program. Imposing regulations on developers to utilize at least 30% of renewable energy in their projects. Designating Kuala Lumpur City Hall officials as ambassadors and advocates to encourage KLites to embrace a low-carbon lifestyle and paying monthly public transport fares for the City Hall officials who commute to work using public transport. Alongside climate action, it is also important to acknowledge that neighborhoods that are safe and well-planned and built to last, with a focus on accessibility and sustainable mobility, are crucial aspects of great livable cities. In this respect, Kuala Lumpur City Hall is currently upgrading and constructing green infrastructure network for pedestrian walkway and cycling lanes. Honorable Mayors, ladies and gentlemen, sessions such as this will certainly help us on this endeavor, thus further strengthening our capabilities to achieve our climate agenda and realize our vision to become truly resilient cities. With the many excellent speakers featured in this forum, we have the opportunity to glean much insight that will make us all the stronger in leading our respective cities towards a greener future. Let us act together and act now to build carbon neutral cities. Once again, thank you for the opportunity given to speak today and have a fruitful forum. Thank you. Back to you, Kurt.
Mayor, thank you as always for your inspiring words, sharing your successes with us, and for your leadership in Kuala Lumpur. Again, it was a lifelong career in your city, so you brought a lot of knowledge. You talked about the importance of sharing knowledge, but certainly you are seen in this region as one of the most knowledgeable mayors because of your long experience within city government, and clearly you've brought some of your successes into fruition in your city. So thank you very much. You're a friend to all of us, a friend to other mayors in other cities as well. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Let us move on now in the agenda. We'll stay in the Asia Pacific region. And it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Stephanie Yu Tan, City Councilor for Catbalogan City in the Philippines. Stephanie is also a former mayor of the city and has also been one of the more dynamic mayors in our region. And she will share with you some of her experiences and successes as well. Stephanie, over to you, please. I see you. No, I don't see you. I don't hear you, Stephanie. Perhaps the connection is not quite stable. Christine, can you help
Yes,
your
I think
here?
it's a problem with the connection. I think we show she's stuck there.
Okay, so Stephanie, if you could maybe reconnect, and maybe we'll move on to our next speaker and then come back to you.
Yes.
When we have the connection resolved. Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to Indonesia. The Vice Mayor of Jambi City, Dr. H. Maulana, who will join us and again share some of the experiences that Jambi City has been developing. Mayor or Vice Mayor, over to you. Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk Kergan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and good afternoon to all participants. Excellency, Mr. Clerk Kergan, thank you for this opportunity. I would like to express my appreciation to UNESCO in inviting Jambi City to participate in this local leadership toward of safer and greener urban future. Conjunction with the 17th annual session of Global Forum on Human Settlement and Sustainable. In this opportunity, I would like to share about Jambi City's experience as local leader in creating a safer and greener urban future. As an urban city, Jambi City also facing handful of challenges, namely financial, human resources, recent pandemics, and environmental issues, health, education, and many others. Before I get into detail of issues of challenges that Jambi City faces, let me give a brief introduction about Jambi City's profile. Jambi City, located in Sumatra Island, Indonesia, and capital of Jambi Province. The city has a total area of 175.33 square kilometers, with over 750,000 population. And population growth rate is 1.95%. And then during the COVID-19 pandemic, our economic growth rate was declined from 5.33% in 2019, become minus 3.28% in 2020. Now, our economic growth around 3.58%. Also, poverty level increased from 0.15% to 8.12% in 2019 and become 8.26% in 2020. Unemployment rate also increasing from 7.62% in 2019, become 10.49% in 2020. The most suffering projects are infrastructure projects. For example, we built public hospital, pedestrians, and bus station. However, due to pandemic, the project were slowed down, resulting the delay in completion. While city need to fulfill the commitment from the borrower, many activities from department which were cancelled. City only focus on addressing the pandemic, such as medical services, vaccine, and social safety nets. To overcome the social and economic impact of COVID to Jambi City people, we have done several activities such as creating the social safety net, creating appropriate application for digital marketing, creating labor-intensive work program for the community to stimulate the spending activities, Pakar Kasih, Padat Karya Kali Bersih, and Padat Karya environmental quality improvement in neighborhood in every sub-districts. And then borrowing money from national government to invest in infrastructure project. As part of the city strategy for making a green city, we have increased the coverage of green open space. Currently, we have reached 15% of green open space out of 30% of our responsibility. There are over 30 cities parks, and to preserve the biodiversities, we have 3 cities forests that contain 183 species of biodiversity. We also participate in carbon literacy, circular economy, transportation, and solid and waste water management. We also believe that strong collaboration with many stakeholders are necessary in mitigate the climate change, especially when city does not have enough budget to take care of the environmental issue alone. We educate our youngs by promoting green living, by going to school in Adiwiyata program. We have Adiwiyata awards for schools that has been doing good in managing the organic waste and green school initiatives. Currently, we are in the level of Adiwiyata Utama, meaning that many schools have been awarded several times for their environmental innovation in schools. As an urban city with its waste issues, we try to minimize the greenhouse gas effect by turning our waste to energy. In the waste to energy, Jambi City has two major projects, namely methane capture from Talanggulo sanitary landfill. Next slide. And methane capture from biodigester in Talang Banjar traditional market. Methane capture in Talanggulo sanitary landfill. Next slide. Over of total 154 households receiving gas methane for cooking in the Talang Banjar traditional market, and the capacity of our biodigester could treat up to 3,000 to 4,000 kilograms of organic waste. Methane gas is being distributed to 20 nearby households for cooking. We turn the waste into energy, hence reducing the greenhouse gases. During the smoke hazard over 4 years ago, Jambi City is one of the cities that suffer tremendously. Smoke were transferred from nearby districts, making Jambi City in red zone and danger area. People suffered from breathing and respiratory problems. Therefore, as support by national regulation, Jambi City also has local regulation to mitigate this disaster occurring in the future. City banned slash and burn, as well as burning the waste. City gives a strong sanction and penalty. Currently, Jambi City air quality is in good level, and we are participating in Blue Sky program too. During COVID-19 pandemic, we keep maintain the air quality by having emission check for many vehicles, planting trees movements, and encourage car-free days activities. We also encourage and facilitate community to reduce waste at source, encouraging tree planting, river and lake cleaning up, and build infrastructure for waste management in the villages level, and build the centralized wastewater management. There are many other local initiatives to create the safer and greener urban city. These initiatives are not only from the government, but also from community. One of them is creating kampung wisata or urban village economy tourism. Community create the ecotourism, thus enhance the tourism, and in same time promoting local tourism and create a greener city and a safer city for people to enjoy. This year, we encourage many sub-districts to create eco-friendly kampung wisata initiated by local community and supported by the private company and facilitated by the government. This strong collaboration so that Jambi City people need each other, and together we can make the greener and safer city. We believe that strong and committed leadership of local government is needed to lead its city in creating a greener and safer city. Thank you for your kind attention. Back to you, Mr. Kruk Karigan. Thank you very much.
Honorable Vice Mayor, thank you very much for sharing with us your experience and illustrating so well how your city is responding to multiple crises. The emergence from the COVID pandemic, addressing climate change, other environmental crises, including air pollution and the impacts on your community, and how you're mobilizing your community and leveraging various financial opportunities to develop innovative solutions. I'm sure that some members of the audience will have questions for you later in the session. So stay with us and we'll come back to you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we'll continue our move maybe back to Stephanie. Or is the connection working now? Stephanie, can you hear me? And can we see and hear you? You appear maybe to be frozen. I don't hear you. So let's continue moving, and then we'll come back to you, and I'm sure we'll resolve the technical issues. So we'll move west. I think everyone knows by now that one of the most climate vulnerable countries in the world is the Republic of the Maldives. And we have with us the mayor of the city of Fuvahmulah in the Maldives, Mr. Ismail Rafiq, who is going to share some of his experience and innovations and some of the leadership challenges that he faces to save his city from the effects of climate change. Mayor Rafiq,
Yeah, thank you,
with us?
Coach.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, can you?
Yes,
Thank
please,
you
over
very
to you.
much, and good day to everyone. My name is Ismail Rafiq. I'm the mayor of Fuvahmulah City, which is an island city in the Maldives. It is one of the remotest islands in the country, and it is an oceanic island, just one island by itself. Just to let you know about Fuvahmulah, some information. Can you see my screen?
We can, yes.
Yeah.
See the title.
So,
Okay.
I mean, as I mentioned, we are a small island of 5 square kilometers, which is very, very small by global size. And we have 11,000 residents living in the island. And what's unique about Fuvahmulah is 1/3 of the island is wetland. So it is not the postcard picture of Maldives you see in. And this wetland is a protected area in the whole island. Is a UNESCO designated biosphere reserve. I think climate change is impacting us even now. And we are, day by day, we are facing increasing number of events of extreme weather events, and the sea level rise. It is real, and we are seeing it every day. So what I will share with you is just a couple of key issues we face in the island, and how we have been trying to address that with the help of the local community, the central government, and also the international community like UN and the World Bank. Flooding is a major issue for us, and we have had severe floods over the past 2 years. And one main concern we have is the island is very low lying. We have sea around us, and when it's flooded, the situation of the peoples, the fear, the anxiety is very high, because all around we have water. And traditionally we have had manual floods. When there's heavy rain, we open the gates and let the water flow out into the sea. But of course, when the waves are high, the tide is high, we cannot open it because the waves come inside through these floodgates. And currently what we have been working is to develop a system for us to monitor the level of water in the island. And we have been working with the World Bank recently also to establish some sensors and monitors which can help us to see the level of water rise because we have 2 freshwater lakes within the city, within the island. So if we can monitor the level before the disaster strikes, we can actually take preventive action. We can be better prepared for the disaster, and our emergency response teams could be on standby. So we are working with the World Bank to establish a monitoring system. And the idea is to actually use this data in real time and make it public, make it available to the people, and also for our team to monitor and attend as needed. So for the flood, we are very much focusing on this early warning system and the monitoring system. Also, right now we are in the process of developing our roads, and we are investing on a stormwater system, which would help manage the rain which collects on the streets. So on the flood, that's our main focus for now. And the coastal erosion, which is very severe. And currently there's a project for revetment embankment around 2.6 kilometers. The whole coastline is around 11 kilometers. So right now we are working on 2.6 kilometers. With coastal erosion, with frequent storm surges again, we are seeing, I mean, a lot of, like every year we have 1 or 2 storm surges. And though it is not as worse as flooding, if uncontrolled or if we don't give focus in the future, this might be, it could turn into disaster causing loss to property and life. So one main focus we are having right now is on the revetment project. And also, again, here also we are planning to use data because it's very important to see how things are going to monitor it. For example, on the shoreline, the erosion, the level of erosion, how is it changing day by day? So what we are planning to do is do frequent shoreline surveys, probably with the help of drones, and using the data to monitor what's happening around the shoreline. So on the coastal erosion side, I think that's again, we want to use data and technology to better get informed and also take decision based on that. And the other one is on the air pollution. This is again one main area which is very much related to a lot of city councils, initiatives, plans, and I think for this, I would like to thank our UNEP team, the ESCAP, for guiding us and helping us with the air pollution action plan. We have learned a lot from that, and we are starting to implement some of the initiatives. One main focus we have is on air pollution monitoring, and we have got a few devices with the help of our UNEP team, and we are installing that to actually monitor what's happening, monitor the extent, the magnitude of the pollution issue. We know we have the pollution problem, but we currently don't know how to measure it and to what level it is. And this data, I think, will help us to educate the people, because what we see is getting the citizens to believe in this, believe in the impact. It's a bit difficult without the use of data. So we are very much focusing again here on the use of data collected and tell the public this is what's happening. So it is easier for them to change their lifestyle and get them in line with our vision of having a more green city in the island. And for the air pollution, we have few causes like biomass burning, which is mostly the waste burning. And for that, we are investing in, we are not investing, we are getting help through grants to establish industrial composting machines. Because every day we are collecting around 7 to 8 tons of waste. And we are hoping to compost all the organic waste in this, which is around 2 tons per day. So if we can turn this into compost, I think we could reduce a lot of the burning, and also we can use this compost for the gardening, for the farming as well. And also we are encouraging the green vehicles, bicycle, and we are currently getting a donation from 50 bikes, and we want to use this to promote bicycle riding as a mainstream mode of transport, especially among the younger school kids. So that's something which we are working on. And also we are using a lot of diesel for the electricity generation. Currently we are around 4 megawatt per day. So right now we are working with World Bank to establish a solar power for 2 megawatt, which is quite a huge amount compared to the current demand. And it is starting in January, and we hope that by the end of the next year, we will have that. And also the city council is working with private investors. We want to incentivize the private sector to invest in solar as solar programs, or as a large scale power generation and selling it to the local utility provider through power purchase agreements. So we are working with potential investors, and it is likely that we will get a couple of them on board to invest in this. And then lastly, we are very much focusing on the citizen engagement, citizen awareness. And we are also working with World Bank to develop a resilient housing guideline. The idea is to educate house owners on guidelines which could help their home to be more resilient in terms of energy consumption, in terms of water, for example, in terms of resilience to disasters like flooding. So this is something which we are already working on, and we hope that the guidelines will give the citizens some points on how which they can follow in building their houses. And in conclusion, I would say that our very much focus on collection of data, using data to make decisions, using data to see the impact, how it is changing over time, and using data to create awareness among the public. And the council is very committed. We are a very new council. We have been here for 1.5 years. And our council's development plan give a lot of focus on green infrastructure, on urban forests, on transport, which is like using bicycles, you're giving more access to pedestrians. So I think city councils, through our development plan, we can make a lot of these changes to implement these changes and get the central government and also the partners and especially the citizens. I think the main challenge is getting the citizens to believe in the cause and get them behind us, because they need to change their lifestyle, they need to change their attitude, they need to change their belief if we want to have a more resilient, more environment friendly and resistant society. Thank you. That's all for now.
Mayor Rafiq, thank you so much. You know, for you and your community, these environmental challenges, especially climate change, are existential threats. And so thank you for sharing how you're responding to that and highlighting that, especially in that context, that developing the data and having evidence-based decision-making is even more critical for you. So thank you. And I'm sure, again, some audience members will have questions for you in the later part of this session. Let me try one more time to go back to the Philippines and Stephanie Utan from the city of Catbalogan. Stephanie, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you so
We
much.
can
I
hear
hope
you,
you can
yes.
hear now. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you for the patience.
Please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone from the Philippines. Let me just share to you my screen. Can you see it, sir?
We see you. We don't see your screen.
You don't see the screen. Sorry. Let me do it again. Share screen.
And then choose the window.
Yes, screen and then the window.
Start broadcast.
There.
Now
There you go. Oh, thank you so much. So good evening, everyone. Once again, this is Stephanie Uitan from Catbalogan City. Road to a safer and greener future. Just an overview of Catbalogan. We are located at the eastern part of the Philippines, and Catbalogan is in the third largest island in the Philippines. And we have a population of more than 100,000. And we are not that big city, but we believe that we are significant because we are the center of trading trading and commerce and industry in the whole Region 8 or the Eastern Visayas part of the Philippines. We have a lot of hazards, and may I just inform you that landslide, flood, and storm surge are major hazards that we experience almost every year, especially storm. Major storms in Catbalogan within 10 years, 2021, Julina 2015, Amang 2014, Ruby 24, also Senyang, and the Super Typhoon Haiyan. It is part of our region. We have urban challenges, the vulnerability to shocks and stressors, population density, the city is already congested, road net shortage, century-old sewerage and drainage system. Solid waste management is also a challenge until now because we are the capital, so we have a lot of adjustments to make, a lot of policies to be done because of the different people who come in our city. Informal settlers is also a major challenge in our city, including coastline, waterways, urban river, and our urban river. Houses in vulnerable areas also an in-migration and out-migration. But during one of the presentations that I did in ASEAN Mayors Forum with Sir Kurt, we believe that building climate resilient cities, we need to understand first the issues of disaster risk reduction and the climate change adaptation up to the grassroots level. We believe that the grassroots level should know this for us to be able to really implement our programs and plan together with them. If they understand, they will accept our plan and they will also help us plan. Also, we need a proper resources utilization and mobilization and long-term plan with disaster risk reduction management, and the climate change adaptation lens should always be considered. What we actually do in our city, we made sure that we in place our local policies that is actually vertical to the national policies of the Philippines. We have a local climate change adaptation plan, updated comprehensive land use plan, a climate and disaster risk assessment, updated comprehensive development plan, local energy efficiency conservation plan, updated ordinances that promotes inclusive governance, institutionalized membership of different sectors in all council. With all these plans, we made sure that it is always updated. Just recently, we updated most of these plans to make sure that because there is a lot of changes going on, whenever there is a disaster, whenever there's a typhoon. So we need to update everything to make sure that what we're actually doing or what we are implementing is what we need and what will protect our people. And we make sure also that all our councils, there is a membership of women sector, academe, youth, elderly, transportation, religion. So they are always represented, business sector, they're always represented so that we will be able to hear them, to hear their side on what programs should be implemented that will make sure that we will have a greener and safer community in the future. So I would like to share to you this video. This will show you what we want for the future of Catbalogan.
From being the center of missionary and evangelical work, the city is developing, or as they say, stepping forward. Business establishments are popping up like mushrooms. As of today, there are already many banks in the city, and more are opening soon. With its growing number of tourists, the city already has more hotels, lodging and pension houses, and resorts for all accommodations. Plus, transportation is now easier and faster for everyone to enjoy and explore what the city has to offer. Opening new businesses in Catbalogan is smoother and faster by way of streamlined business permits and licensing system. And even big businesses are offered tax incentive for taxes their people. And now, taking a step for the future, the city government, led by Mayor Stephanie Huitan, will construct a new township dubbed as the Sky City Mega Project.
With the current challenges that the city is facing, such as traffic congestion, scarcity of commercial spaces, greater demand for safe and hazard-free residential areas, backlog of safe housing facilities, and to cope up with the rapid economic progress, we proudly bring you our flagship mega development, the Sky City. Sky City is a climate-proof township project, which will be a new center of the LGU government, education and training, sports and events, commercial and business activity, and a mall zone with a scenic view of the old city with a panoramic backdrop of the sea.
The Sky City will feature several government offices with parking space and transport terminal, health and wellness centers, hotels and resorts,
ICT hubs, Sky City residences, multi-purpose complex, and a flood-proof 25-hectare Sabu Dam that will serve as a water catchment to eliminate flooding in the downtown area.
With Catbalogan City's rich history and tourism, booming economy, and proactive city government, the Sky City is the right place to invest small and big businesses.
So invest now and be part of this growing and greening community.
So that is the product of the different plans, the planning, the workshops that we did with our constituents and stakeholders and different sectors. We believe that the old city needs urban renewal, and it cannot contain what the city actually need now and the next years to come. So we believe that we need another safe area, another area that will promote, that will make sure that our constituent will be safe. It is actually the future settlement of the city, the future of Catbalogan City. Thank you very much and salamat po.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, and thanks also for your leadership, not just in your city, but you've been a leader across the Asia Pacific region as well, sharing your experience, your knowledge, and really serving as a model of how to engage with citizens and stakeholders. Building that ownership around solutions is extremely important as we talk about, building climate resilience in our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll come back to you. Let's move, if we can now, into Europe. And I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Eckhard Wertzler, the Lord Mayor of the city of Heidelberg in Germany. Dr. Wertzler?
No, he's not here.
He's not there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the next.
Okay, so we'll move to Ms. Julinda Dame, the General Director of Environment and Sustainable Development for the city of Tirana in Albania.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
How is everything going? Can I just want to bring to you now the presentation. If it is possible to do after, just to be ready. I'm here, and when we'll be ready, I am in. Okay. Thank you.
We're ready.
Thank you very
We're ready
much.
for you. I guess you can share your screen, or unless the secretariat's operating for you, Christine.
Hi, Kurt. Can we just move on to the next speaker, and then we'll come back to Julinda.
Okay. We'll move to the next speaker. So we'll move very quickly from Europe to Brazil, South America. Mr. Jonatas Randall da Silva, the Municipal Secretary for Innovation and Technology Center in Barueri City, Brazil. I see you. Welcome. Can you hear us okay? I think you're muted. So if you would unmute. Can you unmute your microphone? Very well. I hear you now. Yes. And we see your screen. You could try to make it full screen if you would like.
Yes. Pedir para fazer tela cheia. Ok. Bom dia. Good morning. Obrigado pela oportunidade. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Em nome do prefeito Furlan. On behalf of our mayor of Barueri, Mr. Furlan. São Paulo, Brasil. São Paulo, Brasil. Barueri está numa jornada da transformação. Barueri is a journey of transformation. Para a sua sustentabilidade e desafios em meio ambiente, infraestrutura, transporte, usando a tecnologia. Barueri City is a journey of technology, development, social environment, using the technology. Estamos numa região de grande concentração de pessoas. We are located in a region of a high concentration of people. uma população de quase 280 mil pessoas.
We have a population of almost 279,000 people.
Uma área muito densa de 65 quilômetros quadrados.
A very density area of 65,000 square meter. Kilometers, sorry.
Somos a 15ª cidade da Grande São Paulo.
We are the 15th country city of Brazil. Our GDP is of GDP place.
IDH bem considerável, né? Para se viver essa cidade.
We have a very nice environment, a nice place with a very good IGHM.
Iniciamos a jornada da transformação digital, fazendo a infraestrutura.
Well, we have initiated, began our journey through the innovation and technology.
De conectividade.
Through the connectivity.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you please put your slides into presentation mode? The presentation is not moving. Put this, play the slides. Yes.
Is it moving the presentation? Okay.
No, it's not moving. It's not moving.
Can you see innovation and intelligence a slide or not?
What's the slide?
It's moving now?
No.
Não está vendo a apresentação?
Okay, let's see what we have to do here. Let's just try again. I don't know what is frozen. Just a second. Just a second. Ok, esse aqui?
Esse, né?
Esse da tela cheia ali, automático.
Esse. Ok. I beg your pardon, can you see now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry for...
That's
okay. Okay, I'm sorry for this small trouble, okay?
Nós trabalhamos com 4 pilares.
We have 4 pillars.
Conectividade, Big Data.
Connectivity, devices, Big Data.
Aplicativos.
We have a special app developed for the city.
Fazendo com que seja mais acessível os serviços públicos.
The idea is to make public service more accessible to our public, or for the dwellers.
Nós enfrentamos uma pandemia.
Well, we have had a challenge in the pandemic.
E a transformação digital implantada desde 2017 fez a diferença na nossa cidade.
And through the technology we have implemented in 2017 made all the difference when we had the COVID-19, because we used all technology to combat, to defeat all the side effects.
Destacamos a vacinação por meio de aplicativos, portais, e com que isso avançou na cidade, conseguimos sentir primeiro a pandemia e também conseguimos sentir logo que terminou a pandemia, para a retomada da cidade, da economia, da retomada dos negócios da cidade de Barueri.
Through the data and the system we have implemented, we could make a surveillance and follow up, and also supervise all the sensitivity areas of COVID. We could also detect where we have to put more energy and focus through all this technology that we have in our city. It reduced all the side effects.
Dos projetos principais que conseguimos implantar na pandemia, chamado aqui de Barueri sem papel.
Oh, we have one of the most important projects that we have implemented is Barueri sem papel, Barueri without paper.
Isso foi exemplo de outras cidades, como a Estônia, por exemplo.
It was followed by other cities like Estonia.
E implantamos esse modelo para que fosse exemplo para o Brasil.
We have got other cities as example and implemented in Brazil to make it as example in our country.
Em plena pandemia, Barueri cresceu consideravelmente, principalmente nas empresas de tecnologia que se instalaram na cidade.
Even in pandemic time, we were one of the cities that had a growth in economy and employment during the pandemic. We have different results. We have a growth instead of a decrease.
Projeto que tem pouco tempo de implantação, 1 ano e 8 meses.
It is a project that has been implemented in less than 2 years.
Nós temos mais ou menos 12.000 funcionários na prefeitura.
We have around 12,000 people working in our mayor city.
Todos eles conectados.
All of them are fully connected.
São mais de 200 sistemas integrados.
We have over 200 systems integrated.
Usando bases de dados como Big Data.
Using Big Data and other databases.
Para as tomadas de decisões.
That lead us to take decisions.
Nas áreas da saúde, educação, infraestrutura, transporte, segurança.
That led us to take right decisions in transport, education, security, and health.
Isso trouxe grande avanço.
It brought us a very advanced situation.
Na agilidade dos serviços públicos.
Oh, we have a more agile public services.
E tivemos avanço principalmente na sustentabilidade.
Oh, we also we can appoint the sustainability as one of our best results in our city.
Nós implantamos para que as pessoas da nossa cidade
we have implemented in our city to the families.
Mais de 2.700 pessoas, famílias beneficiadas.
We had over 2,000, almost 3,000 families that got a benefit.
A internet gratuita.
They got a free internet service. Almost 3,000 families.
Colocando assim essas pessoas.
So it made an inclusion of these people.
Na grande praça pública que é a internet.
In the big room that's internet.
Dando acessibilidade a essas pessoas simples.
So we gave them to the ordinary people accessibility.
A usar os serviços públicos de forma digital.
So that most of them for the first time had opportunity to make use of digital system.
Isso foi possível porque nós temos plano de tecnologia para a nossa cidade.
All of this were possible because before that we made a very good plan of technology to be implemented in our city.
Os nossos desafios são as outras cidades que não têm as mesmas condições que Barueri.
Well, as a result, our major challenge is lead with the neighborhood cities around us that has not the same development.
Isso acaba atraindo pessoas das cidades vizinhas para Barueri.
So it made that the people or citizens for our neighborhood and other cities comes to Barueri to use all the system that we have.
Eu quero falar agora dos resultados que esse programa de sustentabilidade do Barueri Sem Papel trouxe para a nossa cidade.
So I'd like to go and to tell you some short points and big results that all this implementation made to our city.
São mais de 35 toneladas de papel salvas.
Over 35,000 tons of papers saved.
Mais de 1 milhão e quase 1.400.000.000 litros de água economizado para a fabricação desse papel.
More than 1.4 million liters saved of water saved instead of using paper.
Toner foi economizado.
All the saver toners of a printer machine.
Energy. E conseguimos poupar mais de 753 árvores nesse pequeno período de 1 ano e 8 meses de implantação do projeto.
Just using technology, we were also able to save almost 800 trees and power through the system implemented.
Queremos ser exemplo para o Brasil.
We want to be example to our city, our country, Brazil.
Trazendo a conscientização.
We want to bring the conscientization.
Aliado com o mundo.
aligned with the world,
para que tenhamos futuro, meio ambiente protegido
in order to have an environment protected
e salvar aí o nosso mundo.
and also save and save lives.
São pequenas ações
Small steps, small actions
de cada de nós
that each one of us,
que vamos deixar
these actions will lead
futuro melhor para as próximas gerações.
A better future for the coming generations.
Quero aqui agradecer ao prefeito Furlan.
I want to thank you to our mayor, Mr. Furlan,
pela oportunidade
for the opportunity given.
Ao meu intérprete Nelson Aprígio.
For the interpreter Mr. Nelson.
E pelo convite, fico muito grato.
And for the invitation through Mr. Kurt Kerrigan to be part of these very noble teams of mayors.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you very much.
Obrigado. Thank you very much. And thank you also again for highlighting really the role of technology. I think what we've seen here in your city is how you're mobilizing and utilizing, leveraging technology solutions to build resilience and make your overall community much more efficient. So I think we have one more presenter, and then we'll go into a dialogue amongst our panelists. And if I can go back to Ms. Julinda Dame, General Director of Environment and Sustainable Development from the City of Tirana. Julinda, are you with us?
Jolinda, are you there? No.
No?
No.
She lose her connection? Okay. Well, in the meantime, why don't we try to go ahead and start some of the dialogue amongst the mayors and maybe with some of the audience members as well. And I guess please feel free to share any questions that any of you have within the chat function, and we'll try to ask the questions accordingly. But Stephanie, thank you for opening your camera. Obviously, you know better than most that cities, mayors cannot do things alone, that they need their citizens, but they also need to work with national governments. Can you talk a little bit about how you've worked with your national government to establish coherent or vertically integrated climate policies? And what do you see as some of the challenges in working with national governments and local authorities?
Thank you, Kurt. As I said a while ago, that we are working with what we're trying to do in Catbalogan is because of the national government is trying to they inform us with the different policies, and what we do in our cities, we try to localize them, and we make a local plan for the city, because most of the national plan or the national policies are actually very wide and very complicated, and not everything is actually applicable to our city. So we try to localize them and make sure that we are actually in the right track of what the national government is actually asking us, or what the policies are telling us. So that's one of the things that we're doing. Also, with all of the international conferences, international events, or that I am engaging, it is actually sometimes I am more advanced in implementing the programs that the national government is aiming for. So during those time, I tried to contact national agencies, especially secretaries of the different departments. We also informed them of the things that we're doing, and then also trying to ask for technical assistance, because admittedly our city is not that technically prepared in some of the programs and projects that we need to do to really make sure that the future of our city will be safe and green. So That's one point that we are really trying to ask or consult the national government. What else? Aside from the local plans that we're doing, we also invite them to our city to talk with our people, because sometimes we also must admit that in our localities, sometimes the locals wants to hear from higher authority. So that's also one strategy that we try to institutionalize in our city, so that to make sure that we have a different hierarchy in the government to also encourage our people to work with us. So that's how we do it, Sir Kurt, in our city.
Thank you very much, Mayor Rafiq. Maybe the same question to you. You have again a relatively small city, and obviously need the support of national government, your national government, to implement policies and take actions, and also to finance some activities.
Yeah.
What is the relationship that you have?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, decentralization has been very new to us, and it's a couple of years, and especially in the terms of environmental management, everything was centralized, and the environment ministry was making most of the policies and the decisions. And I think when they make those decisions, they are in the capital city, so most of it is shaped by what they see and what they feel in the capital city. And I would say in that process, what the locals, the small islands like us, our concerns are not fully addressed in that. And I think, I mean, we are working with the Parliament, with the ministry, to let the councils have more control. And right now, I would say we have no legislative power, even in terms of making like regulations regarding environmental issues. So that's something we are working with, and they are willing to give this authority to us. And in that process, I think what the cities like is the technical expertise first, because in terms of like urban planning, environmental planning, our city, we don't have any technical expertise, and I think it's similar in most other smaller cities like us. And so in capacity building, that's one area where we can a lot of assistance from the ministry, from the central government, and also from international partners like yourselves. And the finance, of course, that's another challenge. I think the pre-council has that. So I would say that, I mean, we are new to decentralization. We are working with the ministry, with the central government, to give us more power to legislate or make regulations on local environmental issues. And we are seeking more capacity building in terms of the environment and urban planning. That's my what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Yeah, it's especially for very small communities, it's often difficult to have the exposure and get the resources that are needed, because sometimes you're seen as not as important as the capital cities, right? And so it's difficult sometimes. Thank you. We do have a question, a couple of questions for Mr. Randall da Silva from Barueri City in Brazil. Someone asked about, the source of big data that you've used, and whether the app that you have developed is an open source or whether it's a license. I think you're muted again. Okay, please.
Ok. Pode falar sobre os aplicativos que você usa, as licenças, tecnologia?
A prefeitura tem um departamento.
Our mayor has a department.
É uma fábrica de software.
And a kind of a plant that produces software.
Usamos os tradicionais, Amazon, como servidor.
We use the traditional providers,
programador,
and developers, like we have programs like Amazon and others. We use the most common ones.
E essas licenças, elas são as tradicionais mesmo, não tem nenhuma específica de Barueri, né, da cidade. É o que você usa aí no seu país, e a mesma usamos aqui, é universal, a linguagem.
We don't have a special license.
You've muted again. I'm sorry. Okay.
A Microsoft é o que a gente mais usa aqui, né? A base deles.
Microsoft is the most used.
É o mais usual para nós aqui.
Is the most common that we use to develop our apps. I don't know if it answered the question.
I think so, yes. So it's open. Stephanie, do you want to respond maybe to some of the technology initiatives or innovations that you've heard from Brazil, and how you're also incorporating kind of technology solutions in your city?
Kurt, to be honest, I am very much. I really appreciate and how do you call it, overwhelming program of Brazil. It's something that we really want to do in our city. As it's evident a while ago that I have a connection problem or issue. That means we need to do more in our city. But for a couple of years, it's been our problem. But recently, fiber optic is actually is already in our city. That's why ICT is already part of our programs. But even before, we started with making sure that we have CCTVs in the city premises. And it's one way of making sure that we know what's happening in our city. And also it is for our disaster risk reduction and management programs and the peace and public safety program of our city. But we are too far from Brazil, to be honest. But we are, trying small steps, really using innovative technology, because we believe it's one of the pillars that we actually need for a better future. So we are not as big as they are, but we are doing it now through DRR, cashless transactions. We are really trying that our programs in the city, the beneficiaries, we are enrolling them. We are starting to enroll them to cashless transactions. In this way, we will be able to inform the public that the world is into e-cash, into technology, and the innovations now are into technology. So we also need to catch up with that.
Thank you. Ismail, you talked in your presentation about the use of innovative data, especially as it related to air pollution and some of the sensors. How, as a very small community, can you leverage the technology that you need, and how do you see financing those kind of innovative solutions at the scale that you're working?
Yes, thank you. I think technology should be a big part of the city planning and decision-making process. And in this aspect, big data and these things, whether the city is small or big, we need to consider that going forward. And I would say, with COVID, it has actually, it was a call for everyone to look into more technology-based solutions in serving the citizens and also doing the council's work. I think it was seen from the Brazil as example. We also have been to automate a lot of our internal work and minimize the paper-based activities is something we are doing. And on the aspect of the data analysis, like in the environmental side, what we are planning is to have as much monitors as possible to monitor the air pollution, the sea level, the water level, the wind, the rain. So a lot of this data collected, of course, collection is the one thing, but we need to analyze it and make a sensible use of it and use it in the decision-making process. And I think, as you mentioned, the finance is a challenge, but what we have seen is there are a lot of open source software, open source programs that smaller cities can use. And not only in terms of the climate, but in citizen engagement in provinces to citizens. And we are also trialing some of these things. And I think when it comes to technology and application development, even smaller cities can afford it because of this lot of resources, the open source nature of the stream. And also, of course, we are relying on the council budget and also help from the central government to finance some of this, especially in terms of the infrastructure development. So I think whether the city is small or big, we have to focus on data information and data-driven model for decision making, and that's what we also focusing on. And we also hope to have some results in this regard over the next couple of years. Thank you.
Good, thank you. I want to return now to the topic of leadership, and Vice Mayor Maulana from Jambi City. If I could ask you, how do you see the role of city leaders, mayors, vice mayors, vis-a-vis the roles of other stakeholders, such as citizens, academia, and the private sector? What do you see as your role in addressing some of these challenges, and how would you describe your role versus some of the other stakeholders who need to be involved as well?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Roach, about collaboration. Yeah, Jambi City government need collaboration with all stakeholders, community, national government, and subnational. With strong collaboration, we can achieve the common goals easily. So community are involved in all steps of planning, so they can own it and create the activities to answer their problem. And Jambi City is one of 25 city develop smart city. And smart city, part of smart city like smart branding, smart living, smart environment, smart economy. It is need a collaboration. It is need collaboration with all stakeholders. Yeah, private sectors, government, local government sectors, national sectors, all of is involved in this all step planning and activating to smart city. Goals is to develop smart city in Jambi City like this. Thank you very much, Mr. Coach.
Thank you. Stephanie, this is kind of an interesting challenge because mayors have a role in bringing together all of those stakeholders for kind of a common purpose, but there are often competing interests, right? How do you navigate those competing interests and get everyone on the same path towards building resilience in a community, for instance?
Yeah. To be honest, Kurt, it's not easy to really gather everyone with the same vision, the same purpose, because politics still play a big role, and it is always a major problem when we implement big projects in our city. So what we do, especially when I was the mayor, now I'm a councillor. When I was the mayor, I have a lot of big projects that I introduced that I believe will help the city. But then, there's always this minority who will try to block your way. So what I do is I always call for public hearings. And during the hearings, there are a lot of rallies. There are a lot of conflicting ideas. So what is our role as leaders of the city? We try to facilitate and try to listen to every concerns. But at the end of the day, we need to be firm. We need to see who will benefit more. We need to make sure that our decisions will benefit the majority of the populace. So in that way, we decide on the best program or project that we implement, and then we make sure that all the councils are represented. There are representations of women, of children, of the youth, of the academe, of the persons with disability, the business sector, the transport sector, and all the sectors, so that if one of a minority group will try to block our programs or our projects, we can make sure that we have a representation that actually we hear their voices. We made sure that they are part of the plans, and whatever happens, whatever politics will try to ruin our way, we will make sure that our programs are actually the right programs for our people. So not easy, but we can as facilitators and funders and initiators. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rondo da Silva, kind of the same question, but you have a slightly different role as the municipal secretary for the Innovation and Technology Center. Sometimes the technologies are seen as a very technical issue that doesn't appeal to all stakeholders. How do you engage with the broader community to help them understand the innovations and how to implement some of these solutions?
Ok. Nós procuramos ouvir a comunidade, né, falar com as pessoas. Eu quero dar aqui um exemplo. Nós tínhamos um problema aqui com os contadores que abriram empresas na nossa cidade.
Well, we try to understand their needs. It is not easy to talk about the technology, but I'd like to point out an example. We had a problem with the accountants, with the small companies that were looking to open small companies in our city.
A prefeitura, por seu lado, também tinha suas dificuldades com os fiscais que analisavam aquela documentação para abertura de empresas.
From our side, we also had our problem with all the bureaucracy and fiscal people that required a lot of documentation to small companies.
Nos reunimos, ambas as partes, e perguntamos qual o problema que vocês veem na prefeitura. E prefeitura, qual o problema que vocês veem nos contadores?
So we put all together in the same page and we asked the small entrepreneurs what are the problems they are facing from our major city, and from our departments. We also asked them what are the problems and the loops or gaps that you have from the entrepreneurs. So we listen to the both sides.
Porque entendemos que o sistema é feito para pessoas e atrás do sistema tem pessoas.
So we understand that the system is made to support people. And behind the system, we have people.
E quando as pessoas ali, frente um ao outro, disse qual era o problema, qual era a dificuldade, logo entendemos qual era a necessidade de ser aplicada na tecnologia, o ajuste no sistema.
So when we put people together, the area that are looking to invest and the area that is responsible for that, we could understand each other problem vis-a-vis and develop a solution specifically for these people.
Não faz sentido se a tecnologia não é para pessoas.
It doesn't make sense if you have a great technology and if it doesn't provide service or provide solution to the people.
Isso é um exemplo prático daquilo que a tecnologia pode fazer. Aplicamos e deu certo na cidade.
It's a practical example that the technology may serve. So technology is made to serve and not to be served. So they have to serve people and to bring solution.
O resultado disso é 42 mil empresas que estão sediadas aqui em Barueri, São Paulo.
So as a result, we grow to 42,000 small companies that are located in our city. I hope that it answered the question.
Yes, that was very helpful. And thank you for emphasizing that technology really needs to work in service to the people and to the communities. And the engagement of stakeholders early on helps to identify how those technologies can be useful to people. Ismail, you may have a small population, but I don't think that the challenge of bringing people together is any less challenging with a smaller population. You still have competing interests. You still have different needs and different stakeholders. How do you bring your community and the various interests and stakeholders together around your solutions that you've presented quite well today?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I mean, even though the number of the small relation, we still have disagreements and different conflicts of interest with the different groups. And I think one big thing we are focusing on is increasing the citizen engagement. So we invite them to for sessions to discuss on major issues. And currently we are working on two initiatives. One is the voluntary advisory board. So the idea is to have different advisory boards, like in terms of climate, environment. So these volunteers can join these boards and act as advisors to the council. So we hope that through this, we can have like interested stakeholders join these boards, and they would feel part of the council by giving advice, and also the council can actually ask advice from them. And also we have developed a citizen engagement portal, and this is again to make it more convenient and easier for citizens to create their own debates and give feedback to our proposals, processes. And so I think these two initiatives, we hope to make this interaction and engagement easier. And also in that process, I think we can help try to have decisions that are in the best interest of the island. And I would say again, I think using data to convince the people. Using data, for example, this in our island, around the coastline, we have around 20 meters of a buffer zone where we don't remove any trees near the coastline. But there is demand from the business community, for example, they want to develop guest house, they want to develop seafront restaurants, but we have to convince them the importance of the green zone, the buffer zone. And I think using data, what's happening in the world, the impact that will help convince these conflicting interests. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're coming now to the end of the session, so I want to give each of you an opportunity to kind of reflect on what you've heard from your peers and other panelists, and in the context of the question of how can cities take a greater leadership role in the transition to carbon neutrality that this session and really the forum is focused on. And let me start really with first with Dr. Maulana, the Vice Mayor of Jambi City. Again, Vice Mayor, if you could reflect on what you've heard, and then how cities can take a greater leadership role in the transition to carbon neutrality.
Hi, Kurt. I think the Vice Mayor has a guest.
Okay.
He's okay. Can I answer on his behalf?
Sure.
Okay.
Yanti, do you have your camera on? Or can you turn your camera on?
Yes, my camera is on.
Yes, introduce yourself, please, if you would. I know you well.
Okay. Hi everybody. I'm sorry. I'm from Jambi City. I'm the head of the tourism department of Jambi City government, and I believe the Vice Mayor would reflect on the leadership, the local leadership on the carbon neutrality. That it is local leadership is very important as a main role to inspire people to do a little thing to facilitate the community to live a little greener every day. So what as a local leader, you need to not only talk the talk, but you also talk the walk and walk the talk. So that's the main role of the local leader in the Jambi City, as the Vice Mayor and the Mayor of Jambi City would do to inspire the community to be a little greener every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yanti. Mr. Rondo da Silva, the same question to you. Reflect, if you would, and then very briefly talk about how you see the leadership role in this transition.
Colaborar com o efeito estufa não é nada fácil, né? Tudo que é feito acaba aí no mundo causando emissões de carbono.
Collaborating with the stuff effect with the environment is not easy, because everything that we produce results in production of carbon.
Uma principal tarefa nossa é alinhar todos os nossos projetos, a prefeitura, com 17 objetivos da ONU, né, de sustentabilidade, usando aí a tecnologia, o exemplo são 753 árvores poupadas, né?
Well, we try to follow the 70 steps of politics of the NATO, the world community. We have, through that, reduced almost 800 trees that were saved using the technology.
É uma tarefa diária, contínua.
It is a daily task and continuously.
Estamos fazendo nossa parte aqui.
We are doing our part.
Efeito colateral desse projeto, por exemplo, é a redução de veículos na municipalidade.
Well, one of the greatest side effects is that we have reduced the use of vehicles in our community.
E são ações pequenas como essa que nós estamos trabalhando aqui, influenciando outras pessoas, outras cidades, nessa conscientização do dia a dia.
So small steps, little actions that bring a conscience and engage people to collaborate with a green and clean climate environment.
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much. Ismail, very quickly, if you could, within less than a minute or so, reflect and then share your thoughts on leadership and how.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, thank you very much for inviting me to this panel. And I think through these sessions, we see how other cities are doing it, and we can learn from each other. And I think this is the most important part of this, sharing the experience. And I think I have learned a lot, and I have seen how other cities are trying to address the similar problems we have. And I'm sure it has benefited a lot. And I think as local leaders, one big advantage we have is we work very closely with the citizens. Especially smaller cities, I mean, we know each other. 11,000 residents, I know them personally. So working closely with them, I think it's the most important thing is for the people to change their attitude, for the people to change their lifestyle. And it's the individual responsibility which is most important. And I think as city leaders, since we can work very closely with the citizens, it has more chance of getting this individual responsibility, people to start believing in the cause, and for people to help the council, to help the country to make the necessary changes. So I would say one big focus we should have is on changing the individual's viewpoint and let them ask them and for them to be responsible for the actions, especially in terms of the environmental side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stephanie, final word over to you.
Thank you, Kurt. Final words. How do we do it as leaders of the city and as a city? We need to let our people understand what do you want for the future to be carbon neutral. So after informing them and letting them understand what our future would be, then that's the time we plan and we make sure that we institutionalize all of them. We need policies to really make sure that our leadership will go in that direction. It's the only way that we can make sure that we can achieve carbon neutrality. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Very succinct. I wasn't prepared for you to finish so. But thank you. And thank you to all of the panelists. Apologies for any of the technical difficulties. We weren't able to ultimately hear from that. But we're a bit over time now, and so let me take this opportunity to thank the panelists and close the session. I think we heard some very clear guidance and direction from all of the mayors. In summary, what I heard is that the role really of mayors is partly to inspire their community, to develop the policies, but bring on board their communities, their citizens, to co-produce some of these solutions and co-implement some of these solutions. That citizens have a role in changing the way that they live their lives and their behavior. So it comes down to behavior and lifestyle. It's not just a government function to achieve these global objectives. That there need to be engagements from citizens, from academia, and others, and that there needs to be collaboration across all sectors and across all jurisdictions of government. And mayors and local leaders help to create that enabling environment for innovation, for action and for citizens to really be engaged. So thank you all very much. And I guess I can turn back over to Christine for any housekeeping announcements. I want to thank all participants.
Thank you very much, Kurt, as always. Thank you. Huge thanks also go to our mayors and local leaders, to Stephanie, to Dr. Malana, and the Mayor Rafi, and Mr. Renda da Silva for bringing us interesting perspectives, initiatives, and practical actions at the local level. Actually, we at GFHS is dedicated to prioritizing cities and uniting cities to address urban issues. So we look forward to engaging your cities in the future and more cities out there in a deeper way through our Global Greener City initiative. We can keep in touch and share with you the initiative. Okay, thank you once again. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the program for today. We once again extend great appreciation to our excellent speakers, to our local leaders and panelists who set the stage for tomorrow's discussion on technical topics. Let me quickly share the screen for the program of tomorrow. There we go. Yes, that's the program for tomorrow. We have 6 parallel sessions. Yes, please. Yes, we will just 6. Yeah, 6 thematic sessions. So please join us and put questions to our experts and the panelists tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central European Time, 6 a.m. UTC, and 2 p.m. Beijing time. So I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Obrigado.
Bye. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Bye.
Obrigado.
Yes, obrigada.
Vem visitar o Brasil. Vem visitar o Brasil.
Salama. Salamu alaikum.
Salamat.
Salamat.
Salamat po.
Salamat
Right?
po.
Salamat po.
Ma salama. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, we hope to see you all tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have
Okay.
a technical sessions. We'll have an award ceremony tomorrow evening.
Vem visitar o Brasil, Fuji.
Thank you.
Come to Brazil.
Yes, we had one annual forum in 2012 in Brazil.
Wow, great.
Yeah, that's 10 years back. Yes.
Okay, we look forward to hear from you.
Same here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Christine. Great job.
Hi, Ty. Thank you for being with us. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Hi, Fang.
Hi, Ty.
Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, glad to have you in the Zoom office. In the Zoom room.
And I'm glad to have you in my heart. Christine is doing a great job.
Thank you. That's my job.
Did you have sleep?
What?
Did you have sleep?
Yes, I slept. I just came like 2 days ago from Dubai. I was a little bit tired, honestly. But I listened to some of the lectures. Very good, very good.
Thank you.
And you know, tomorrow is in 12 hours from now, correct, Christine?
It's 6. I think it's 6.
Not 6:30 in the morning. 6:30 in the afternoon. It's written 6:30 in the
I
morning.
don't know, 6:30 in the morning, New York time.
No. We are in the morning now. So it's gonna be 6:30 in the evening.
In your morning.
Now we are in the morning. Here in America, we are in the morning. But tomorrow for the conference, it's gonna be 6:30 in the evening, New York time.
No. Please check your email.
Yes,
No,
my
I
email
believe
is
Taj is well aware of the timing. I believe that. That's okay.
I am aware of it. If you're gonna
Yeah.
start, are you gonna
Don't
start
let
in
her
12
miss you.
hours? Christine, you're
Yes.
gonna start from 12 hours from now, correct?
Yes.
Now, 12 hours from now in America will be evening. But it's okay. God bless you and keep you.
Thank you, Taj.
Likewise. Likewise.
Tomorrow you will moderate the closing session. It is very important. It is a hybrid session.
Well, that's the crib of the chrome of the meetings.
Hybrid.
The cream of the. Mm. Well, I'm looking forward to see you in New York. I think.
Okay.
You're coming, right?
Okay. Okay. Soon. I hope sooner.
Okay. We're looking forward. Also, Christine, bring Christine with you.
Thank you. Sure.
Okay.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night's sleep.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Have a nice
Bye.
day. Bye bye.